This week on the Erotic Awakening Podcast, episode 735, The Naughty Bucket List and Slave Heart. Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, it's recommended you stop listening right now. First, I'd like to thank the amazing patrons of Erotic Awakening. You have kept and continue to keep this show and educational work alive and thriving. So a special welcome to our newest supporters, Laura and Bella. Now, if you'd like to be a part of the team that supports this continuing work, head over to patreon.com/Erotic Awakening and sign up today. Hi, everyone. I'm Dawn, and I'm here this week to continue the conversations on power exchange, polyamory, sacred sexuality, and everything in between. So today, we are going to explore the concept of a naughty bucket list. Now, I promise I have told you guys on Discord and Patreon and other places that I am going to be interviewing people. Not necessarily interviewing people, but having chats with people for future episodes. Right now, I am still trying to get organized, and as soon as I get that scheduled, that will kind of be the direction that the show takes. But right now, it is me talking about various topics as I'm able to fit this in on my schedule. With that in mind, I would like to lean into the concept of the naughty bucket list. And why? Why the naughty bucket list now? So if you guys have listened to any of the shows, probably over the last 5 years or so, I've mentioned off and on the concept of the 101 naughty list. And the reason I use the term 101 naughty list is because I have another list called the 101 in 1001 Days. It's like a goal list. I kind of hijacked it from Lee Harrington, who probably got it from someone else as well. Anyway, years and years I've been working with these lists, and I found that I was putting naughty stuff in with my just regular lifetime goals, and I wanted to separate them out so that they wouldn't get lost. So I created this new bucket list for just the naughty stuff. And it's been pretty powerful when I remember it's out there. I have to remember it's out there. I'm going to put a link to it on my desktop so that I remember to look at it. Oh, I could add it. I have a weekly list and I have a daily list. And there's a few things on my daily list, like take my meds, do my yoga, things like that. I think I'm going to add check my naughty bucket list on at least my weekly list, maybe my daily list, just to keep it fresh in my head, because I've actually followed through with some of the things on my bucket list. And yeah, I need to do that just a little more often now that I have more time. So again, why mention the naughty bucket list now? Probably because someone sent a picture to me through a private message a couple of days ago, and I looked at it and I went, okay, that's going on my bucket list. That has got to go on my bucket list. Oh, wait, what is on my bucket list? Where's my 101 list? I wonder if it's changed. So I went through these things because in the past, things that have been on that list are things that I specifically saved for one person. And they were things that I had to absolutely trust the person that I was doing it with. So I saved it for a specific person. Well, now things have opened up and I have to look at stuff again and go, okay, so my life situation has changed. What do I find hot now? I've been finding that some things that in the past I would have considered little things that just wouldn't have made it to the bucket list are now like, huh, that idea has a different feeling now. I wonder if it's going to be on the list. So I'm picturing the picture that was sent to me a couple of days ago. And it was, how the hell did that conversation even come up? We were talking about zombie dicks for some reason and zombie dildos. And I remembered talking about zombie dildos on one of our podcasts years ago, got looking for it, couldn't find it. And then the guy mentioned a Thanos fisting glove, I guess. And I'm like, oh, a gauntlet. So like a gauntlet glove for fisting. And it might not even have been a glove. It might have just been like a dildo in the shape of Thanos's hand. And I'm like, well, I would do that. I would do a Thanos scene and be fisted by a Thanos gauntlet. And then he showed me a Thanos gauntlet meat tenderizer. And all I could think of was being ass punched by this thing. I must do the scene. I I must be meat tenderized through ass punching by this Thanos gauntlet. I must be fisted by this Thanos gauntlet. I'm game. I'm in. And then it's like, so I must add this to my 101 list. So I went looking for my 101 list and I'm like, oh my gosh, some of the stuff on here is so old that I've never made happen. I've been so busy and just not focused on it, and other things have taken priority. And now I'm like, I want these things to take priority again. So I added being fisted by Thanos and being ass punched by Thanos. So does that go under role play? Does that go under cosplay? Does that go under I don't know. And it doesn't matter. It's on my list and I must make it happen. I have to figure out how to buy these things so that they're in my toy bag when I go play. Anyway, with all of that in mind, I also had someone, oh, I need to write him back. I also had someone write me and say that they just want to be watched. And I'm like, okay, well, that didn't used to really turn me on, I thought, but I really do like it. Gosh, how do I say this without outing anybody? There have been men in my past that I've been with that liked being watched, or more to the point, I liked watching them. And because I liked watching them, they liked performing for me. So now I've got someone reaching out saying that he just wants to be watched. And I'm like, that would never have made it to my bucket list. It's so simple. It's going on my bucket list. And I may try to figure out how to make it work with that person, assuming he's vettable. So many people reaching out to me that have never been to a munch, that have never been to anything. We have no, oh my gosh, this is a whole show in and of itself. It's this whole idea of vetting. Never mind. I will go off on a tangent with that. Let's save that for another time. I'm writing that down. Do an episode on vetting. Anyway, that whole voyeuristic idea is going to go on my bucket list. So I pulled up my bucket list to see what was on there. Let's see if I can find it again. Here we go. I did not realize that I had redone my Naughty 101 list recently, like in the last, holy cow. This is, oh, never mind. As in a year and a half ago. I'm looking at the dates going, I just did this recently. Shit, that was a year and a half ago. Okay, I should have looked at it much more often than that. And what used to be, if you guys have listened to the show, you know that I've talked about this. What used to be at the top of the list was a double penetration scene. It's not at the top of the list anymore. Simply because I have tried to make it happen and it's been top of the list for so long and I haven't succeeded with it that I decided to just drop it to the bottom of the list. I'll put something else at the top. And then maybe I'll concentrate on what's at the top. And then to open it up and realize I haven't looked at it in so long that I created this a year and a half ago. Anyway, the reason the DP is not at the top anymore is because I did try to make it work. The boyfriend took me to a swing club. We found somebody and we tried to make this happen. What I didn't realize is porn makes it look easy. It's not easy, especially when your guys have a height differential, and the girl, me, is on the large side. So it was not easy. It was not successful. And because it was with a stranger, it was even harder. So if I'm going to do a DP, I need it to be two guys that I know, or at least I need to know one of the guys who knows the other guy. It can't be a stranger involved. That's just me. I don't do well with strangers. If I did, so much of this stuff would already be checked off. I could just go to a swing club and do it, or, a kink party or something. But I'm not like that, and that's okay. I will continue to make these things work. So what is at the top of my bucket list? Suspension in cling wrap. Now, I've done cling wrap before. It's a pallet wrap, the real strong stuff. I've done that before, but some really amazing scenes with my feet on the floor and done in a self-suspension rig. But my feet were on the floor until they were kicked out and I was falling. More about that in the Fear Play class, which I'm doing this month. Fear Play class, writing down notes of my fear stuff. But I've never actually been officially suspended in cling wrap. And I say that with a question mark because at Twisted Tryst, there was someone that actually did some training with Dan on how to suspend me by using a cling wrap swing. I've got pictures of it on my Fet profile. And he was teaching Dan how to do a cling wrap swing so that the cling wrap wouldn't roll up and become like twine around my body. And that was really cool. So I know how to do the base of it, but I've never had anybody actually suspend me with cling wrap. And I would really like to be off the floor and suspended like a spider in cling wrap. Now, unfortunately, Kinky College is in a couple of weeks. I'm not able to go, and that is the perfect place to do it because there was someone there that was teaching it for years. So a lot of people learned how to do it. That would be my perfect place to do that. But I'm going to a submissive retreat instead in the west direction. What else is on my naughty bucket list? Some of this stuff feels too private to actually say on the air, which is really, really weird. Let's see. Some of it is what some people would consider minor, and it's just like sending pics of my naked tits out in the woods to random, not random people like random phone numbers, but random kinky friends that I have on my list. Let's see, a primal scene, which I've done many times and would love to do again. Oh, so that's the thing about my bucket list. That's why it's a naughty 101 list, not just a bucket list, because some of these things are things that I've done before, but I want to do again. I don't want to forget that I've done them before and still want to do them. I've got things that involve suction. I've got things that involve needles. Oh my God, I would love to have a needle corset. Mm, cupcake boobs, of course. Anybody that knows me knows that I love that. Mutual masturbation, different rituals that I want to do. Yeah, oh my God. Oh, I could get so lost in this list. A hook pull. I just did one of those last month, 2 months ago. So I can cross that one off and then it'll go right back on again. Things that I can only do at an outdoor kink event. How's this one? Fucked against a car under the stars. How teenage is that? But that sounds awesome. Some different cosplay stuff, like I mentioned with Thanos, and sex with a couple. I had someone do a scene with me. It was him and his wife. And at the end of the scene, he leaned her across me and fucked her on top of me. That's on my list. That is on my list. I would love to do that again. Anyway, all these things and creative things and some things that other people might find boring. And it's going to be easy to find more things to add to my list because I'm teaching a couple of online classes this month, some new ones. One of them is for patrons only, and it's called Slutty Sex for Real Relationships. Dan and I have taught this class for years. I'm going to teach it for patrons. So patrons only for that class. And it's going to have some stories in it. And it's going to have some things that I would like to do in it. And it's going to have some things about how some stuff can stay fantasy. I've got some things in my head that I like to fantasize about that will probably never come true because they'll stay fantasies in my head on purpose. And that's okay. I'll teach the reasoning for that in the class. And then the second class I'm doing is fear play. So I'll do that one near the end of the month, closer to Halloween. And I'll have stories in there of the different fear things that I've done and things that I would like to do in the future and the power behind fear play. And so I'll have more things added to my list, I'm sure, by the end of the month after those two classes. Now, one of the ways that I find people to play with, to create these fantasies, to live out these fantasies is at events. And sometimes these events, one of the first things I do with a new event is I will go to their Fetlife group and see if they have a dance card sort of post. And a dance card post is usually titled Tops Looking For, and another one Bottoms Looking For. So I can go to these posts and actually put out there what I'm looking for, or look at what other people are looking for and see if it's something that I can provide. So that's a neat way to get your fantasies fulfilled, your naughty bucket list completed, things like that. And with that in mind, where am I going to be in the upcoming couple of months? I don't know after the new year. I'm starting to make plans, but at least for the next couple of months, I'm going to be at a few places. Some of it's just vending, so I won't have a chance to fulfill anything on my bucket list unless I'm really creative. And some of it is presenting workshops, not necessarily an event. But anyway, it doesn't have to be something naughty. If you'd like to share a cup of coffee or conversation, here's where you can find me in person. So I'll be at Satyricon Vendor Fair in Madison in November, vending. Milwaukee's Naughty Munch in November, presenting and vending. I'll also be vending at the Biz Baz in Minneapolis in November. Lots of vending in November. And then Naughty Revival in Minneapolis in December, where I will be presenting 4 classes and there all weekend. And I will be posting a list of things that I would like to try while I'm there. So keep up with all the places I'm presenting or vending, my online classes and intensives, book news, discounts, and more via the Erotic Awakening newsletter. And you can get your EA shout out like Sarah in Oregon and Sean in Pennsylvania. So head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe today. Speaking of events, there's also another event coming up at the beginning of 2026, or kind of at the beginning. It's at the end of February. This is Intrigue in Indianapolis. I went there last year, presented there last year, and it was an amazing event. It's small, but that's fabulous, right? Very intimate and great people that go there. It's going to be bigger this year. They do have a dungeon, and I highly suggest if you're able to go to give it a try. It's going to be February 27th through March 1st. And I got to be down in Indianapolis last weekend and spend time with the staff and the producer, and they are so excited about what's going to be going on for that event. So again, highly recommend it. I'm also going to give a shout out to Fyre Rose, who created a tentacle, a tentacle can holder. I love how it fits in my hand. So thank you, Fyre Rose. Thanks to you for that. Tentacles for the win. So during this transition of my life, I also had something else that I had to think about. It's just a transition thought that makes me go, isn't that Arsenio Hall that used to do that in the 90s? Anyway, I had a friend tell me that, oh, let's backpedal just a little bit. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to a submissive retreat in Minneapolis. So I've been wanting to go. It's called Seek. I've been wanting to go for years and finally got a chance to go. And someone is picking me up and another slave. So there's going to be three of us in a car driving to Minneapolis from Chicago. And he told me that he was looking forward to spending time on the car ride because he was going with two of the slaviest people that he knew, and it was going to be great conversation. And this was through text. And when he said that, I kind of paused. I didn't know how to reply. I'm like, I haven't felt like a slave since not wearing my collar. I've been putting me first and doing what's in my best interest instead of putting someone else first. And that is a whole switch in thinking. That is a whole different way to even be in the world. So I haven't felt slavey. I haven't felt, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like even when I go into a power exchange household, I don't have that feeling of needing to follow protocol or being a good reflection of him. I mean, I'm a good person, I'm a good friend, but I don't have that other feeling going on. And I never expected that, never even thought about it. I mean, some people would ask me, hey, Dawn, do you believe that slave heart is a thing and that you can be slave even if you aren't in a dynamic? But I was asked that while I was in a dynamic. And I'm like, of course you can. Slave heart is a thing. It's kind of like being, to me anyway, polyamorous. I'm polyamorous even if I'm not in a polyamorous relationship. I'm wired polyamorous, which is true. I'm also wired, how to even word this? I was going to say I'm wired to be a follower. I'm wired to be a slave. I'm wired to be submissive. And because I lead so much and because I'm directing my own life right now, am I really wired that way or do I just thrive that way? I don't even know how to word it. So anyway, I'm going to go back to slave heart. Is slave heart a possibility when you're not in a dynamic? Absolutely. Am I feeling it right now? No. Am I going to feel it in the future? I have no clue. Is it still my fetish? Absolutely. I do not get off sexually unless someone, oh, is this even true? Okay. So I was going to say, I don't get off sexually unless someone is dominating me so that I can submit. Absolutely hot, hot, hot fetish. Is that the only way I get off? Fuck. Yes. Yeah, that is the only way I get off. That's one of the reasons I don't do swing clubs well or things like that because I don't want those people to be in charge. And I said those people like it was judgmental. What I mean is that I don't want a stranger, regardless if it's at a swing club or anywhere else. I don't want a stranger to be in charge. But it's got to be someone I trust still. Oh, how's that for a tangent? So this is the fourth time I have recorded this podcast because of my sound equipment. Now you're getting this, and this did not come up on the last three versions of the podcast. So a little bit of self-reflection here, but that's okay. That's what you guys tune in for sometimes. So I'm not feeling slavey. It's probably normal after a breakup. I wonder how that's going to feel with the slave retreat or when things start kicking back in, when emotions start kicking back in and being in power exchange households. We'll see. I wonder how it's going to be when I'm around dominants and masters that I've been around in the past. Just dynamic wise, I'm just kind of curious how that's going to play out. I've just been reflecting. I don't know that I have an answer, and the answer is probably only going to come with future experience. But if you have any ideas, I can be found at Dawn_Awakening or Erotic Awakening, all one word on Fetlife, Erotic Awakening on Instagram, EA Podcast.